Find yourself in a tall feeling seat. It doesn't really matter what that looks like. Remember that if you're in a chair, you probably don't want to cross at the ankles or the knees. Like try to have both feet on the ground, ankles in line with the knees, knees in line with the hips, shoulders on top of the hips, head on top of the spine. Especially if you're like me and you tend to type a lot or you're on your phone a lot, there might be a tendency to pull forward the shoulders, the jaw, the chin, maybe the whole head. And that creates a lot of strain on the upper parts of the back and the back of the neck. I think it's every degree you go forward with the head off of the line of the spine, it gets 10 pounds heavier. So see if you can really roll the shoulders down and back. Head is right on top of your spine. Tuck your chin down and back like you're pushing it into a wall behind you, and squeeze your shoulders a little bit behind you. You might already feel like, wow, that's a lot of work. And that's okay. If you're on the floor, you can cross your legs however you want, and then don't let your toes fall asleep. Keep moving them. Sit on your feet or your ankles, whatever. And it's always a good idea to sit on a chair so that your hip flexors and your psoas can work a little less to just hold you in the position that you're in. And once you're all situated there, keep your elbows bent, hands are resting. Let your gaze go forward and slightly down. And then you can smooth out your forehead and smooth out your eyebrows. Maybe you swallow. Let your tongue come off the roof of your mouth. Put your tongue in the bottom of your mouth. Maybe even coat it in saliva. These are all just little tricks that tell your nervous system that it's okay to start to approach a more meditative state of mind. Loosen the jaw. Maybe you part the teeth and the lips slightly. Good. And fix your attention and your eye gaze on that one spot ahead of you that's not moving. And to any degree, soften your eyelids. They might just feel heavier, or they could close halfway or all the way. Mentally separate yourself from what you were doing so you can come fully now into what you are doing. Good. And start to ground and center yourself using your senses. So start with what you see, whether your eyes are open or shut. Just notice general shapes and colors first. Notice the lights and the shadows. Notice where the windows and the doors are in relation to your body. Notice where the other people and objects are in relation to your body. Notice all the noises in the space besides my voice. Even notice watches ticking or heaters blowing. And remind yourself that the hearing never really turns off. It's one of those senses that's on even while we're sleeping. So as we go through class, you may find that you get distracted by noises often. That's totally normal. It's just a brain being a brain. You're not doing anything wrong. But when it does happen, see if you can quickly identify, okay, that's a noise, and then bring your attention back to your body as often as possible. Now bring your awareness to your own personal bubble. Get a sense of what's in front of you and a sense of what's directly behind you and to the sides of you. Notice where air touches your skin versus where clothing is covering your skin. Notice the pressure of your body on your seat. See if you can get heavier in those places where you're touching down, but also stay tall and lightweight from the waist up. And maybe you've started changing your position or even slouching by now. That's okay. Reposition yourself. Pelvis in and up, belly in and up, shoulders gently pinched behind you, head stacked on top of your spine. One big long line of energy from tail to crown. Good. And notice your breathing here without changing it at first. Just be aware of what it's like to sit and breathe today. Does it feel kind of smooth or kind of choppy? Does it feel more quick or more slow? Maybe you don't feel much of anything at all. Maybe breathing is really uncomfortable. Just be aware of what's present for you without labeling any of it as right or wrong. And then, if you wish, you could start engaging with your breathing more by drawing in your breath a little lower and deeper into your body than is normal or passive. And as you exhale, preferably through the nose, but if you're stuffy, through the mouth like you're blowing out a straw. Let the air come out of your body a little slower than normal. You don't have to force it to double in length, but some bodies do naturally. Inhaling low, deep, big. Exhaling longer than normal. Not forcing it. Try to just allow the breath to get longer. And notice what comes up with that intention too. Maybe just that little bit of extra effort brings up a story or an emotion or some kind of interpretation about whether you're good or bad at it. Just notice those kinds of thoughts and let it pass. Bring your attention back to what you're trying to do. Being still and focusing on the breath can sometimes be the most challenging part of a class, especially with a racing mind. So remind yourself that this is intentional too. The breath is one of the only windows into the nervous system where you can access direct, intentional effort on the way that you feel. So by practicing it in class, it'll become easier and more automatic outside of class. That's why we practice here in a safe space together. One or two more rounds like that, just noticing the breath. Maybe you let go of the effort, or maybe you continue breathing in low and deep and exhaling slow. And then finish the round that you're on and release the effort. And notice just for another moment anything that's left over so far, just from 5 minutes of grounding and centering yourself and focusing on your own breath. That is your shesha, the remaining thing, the leftover, the echo. And through the rest of class, keep trying to notice what's left over after I try all of these different practices. What kind of effect does it have on my body and my mind? And then you can determine what works for you and what doesn't, so that outside of class, you can practice them. Good. Open your eyes if you haven't already. Come to a more normal awareness of the room. If you're in a chair, probably scoot forward towards the edge of your seat so you have a lot more space to wiggle side to side. And if you're on the floor, remember, you can change the position of your feet and your legs anytime you need to, so that they don't fall asleep. And pardon the interruption, I'm going to keep looking at my phone so I don't miss anything, because this is a set therapeutic series called the Joint Freeing Series, and we're going to move through a lot of that today. Okay, so from a seat, looking straight ahead, head is stacked on top of your spine. Reach your arms out ahead of you. They don't have to be super long and straight with all the fingers glued together, but you could try that if you wish. And since the hands are at shoulder height, keep your shoulders down away from your ears. You might even imagine pinching them behind you a little bit so that you still feel supported in the middle and the upper parts of the spine. Good. Just bending at the wrist, pull the fingers down towards the floor, and then inhale, bring them back up towards the sky. Good. Back and forth at your own pace, inhaling to lift the fingers and exhaling to lower. One more time, up and down. And then come to stillness and neutral. And now bring the fingers towards each other like you want to touch them together, but keep the elbows long. And then out away from each other, so the wrists and the thumbs are pointing in towards the center. And then back and forth. Couple times back and forth. Just notice where you're feeling the effort and where you're feeling any shesha, any leftover sensations. Good. Come to stillness. Turn the thumbs in towards the palms and wrap your fingers around. Really gently draw circles with both of your wrists. Go the same direction. Soft face, shoulders down, belly in and up for support. Breathing in and out. And then pause where you are and go the other direction as well. Come to stillness. Turn your palms face up and bend your elbows so you can tap your fingertips towards your shoulder and then extend. Good. Exhaling, bring the fingers in. Inhaling, extend. Do this a few more times. You can always do one at a time. If you feel asymmetrical or like one side isn't behaving like the other side, that's always an option. Or if you need to rest, always a good option. Okay, elongate your arms again. Big inhale here, get as long as you can through the arms. Exhale, bring your fingertips back to your shoulders, and now draw really big shoulders with your elbows. So keep your fingers touching down on the shoulders, not the back of the head. Big circle with the elbows. Draw them in as tightly as you can, up as high as you can. The shoulders can lift, and then out apart from each other and all the way down. Huge circles. Notice the difference between the two sides. Keep your jaw soft. Keep the sides of your neck soft. So you're not squeezing, clenching the jaw, recruiting all the muscles in the side of the neck. Just try to keep this in the shoulders and notice what happens. And then pause and draw them the other direction too. Notice if this is more challenging for a physical or a mental reason. And then let that thought pass and come back to the sensations that's occurring. Good. Pause. Inhale, open your elbows out to the side and reach your fingertips towards the sky. Identify your right hand first. And without moving at the shoulders, just twisting at the elbow, bring your fingertips down towards the floor to any degree. And then inhale, lift it back up. Good. Other side. And up. Go back and forth a few times. Move slower than you think. If you feel a lot of the strain in the shoulders or like you have a restriction in your range of motion, feel free to bring your elbows more forward in space and then try it again and see what happens. Try to do the same number of passes on each side. Take a break when you need. And then bring your hands together in front of you, interlace your fingers, push through the palms away from you so you're straightening the arms more. And then inhale to lift. Lift your shoulders up towards your ears and exhale, bring it back down. A few times like that. Inhale to raise. You can look up if you want, but don't crunch the back of your neck. Keep your neck super long. Exhaling down. Maybe you look down. One more like that. Good. And then release. Let your hands come down. Let your arms be heavy out of your shoulders. Take a breath in neutral. Notice what's left over. Good. Now bring your hands to your hips. So this might be enough for you here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. Drop the shoulders down away from your ears. And imagine you're squeezing the elbows together closer. You may put your hands in invisible back pockets on the low back and the buttocks and continue to squeeze. Some bodies will release the hands from the body and interlace the fingers again and start to straighten the arms, pulling them down so the shoulders aren't lifting up. We're squeezing them behind us and dragging them down the spine. Good. Some bodies continue to squeeze, or you might start to squeeze so hard that the arms lift behind you more. And then lower. Stay where you are and continue to breathe. Relax your jaw. Smooth out your eyes. Smooth out your eyebrows. And keep breathing. And then release. Hands are heavy out of your shoulder blades. Look straight ahead, chin down and back. Notice anything left over. Heat and tingling and throbbing is all normal. If you have any sharp pains, take it easy anytime we come back to that part of the body. Okay, hands on your knees. You can have your legs in whatever position you wish. We're going to do a little undulation of the spine here in cat and cow, but stay seated even if you normally do it on hands and knees or standing today. Let's just see how it goes while we do this whole series. So hands on your legs, straighten your arms to some degree, and then inhale, pull your chest and heart forward. Chin can gently lift up, eyeballs can lift up, eyebrows can lift up. Exhale, round yourself, really round the shoulders, push into the hands to exaggerate the feeling and pull your belly button in towards your spine. Head is heavy. Back and forth. Inhaling, belly forward, chest forward, maybe gaze forward and up. Neck is long. Exhale, round. If you wish, you can let go of your knees and push your hands out ahead of you to help kind of exaggerate the feeling in the middle of the shoulders. And keep going back and forth at your own pace. Notice what your belly is doing. Notice where your head is. See if you can pretend your head is leading the movement instead of your spine. Couple more like that. Take your time. You can always stay in one position or another if it feels like it's good for you or doing something important for you. And when you're done, be done and come to stillness. Sit tall, arms are heavy, gaze is forward. Notice what is left over so far. Good. Side to side now. So if you're on a chair, you might put blocks underneath you so that you can easily reach something to the sides. If you're on the floor even, I mean, if you can't reach easily, let me know and I'll bring you another set of blocks to bring the floor up higher to your body. Good. Arms are coming out of your shoulders. Gaze is forward, chin down and back, belly in and up for support in the low and mid spine. Good. Identify your right arm. And inhale, bring your right arm either out to the side or up. If it comes up, you can also lift the shoulder up. For a moment, stay here. Really imagine cementing yourself down from the hips down and then getting lighter from the hips up. Create more space in the side of your body between your shoulder and your hip. And then to any extent, you can lean over so the left fingertips touch down. That could just be fingertips. It could be your whole palm. Some bodies like to really reach the arm away. Some bodies like to bend the elbow. Figure out what feels right for you. It doesn't have to look any certain way. Remember, if the arm doesn't like you can bring the arm behind your back. The point of this isn't to create length through your fingertips. Remember, the limbs are accessories for the breath. So what we're really trying to do is breathe big into the right side of the ribs. Create more space just by inhaling huge into the right side of your body. It might feel a little uncomfortable. That pulling and tugging feeling are the intercostals that are weaved together in the basket of the rib cage getting stretched, open and closed as you breathe. Good. Notice where your heart is and play around with tilting the heart down towards the floor more. If your arm is up, you could reach diagonally across to a corner of the room and then roll yourself more open to the front. It's okay if when you do that, you lift out of your lean a little bit. Play with that. Heart more forward, heart more down towards the floor. Back and forth. Stay cemented down in both of your hips. Keep breathing. Head is neutral, nose probably in line with your heart, unless it feels better to look down. I don't recommend looking up. Good. Push into your feet in your seat, come back to neutral, and then inhale, brace through your core as you come up. Exhale, arms come down if it was lifted. Stay for a breath, fill yourself up, bottom to top, and top to bottom. Good. Other side. Inhale your arm either out or up or behind your back if you already know you don't want to involve the arm. Cement yourself down, hips and feet and legs pushing into whatever's underneath you, belly lifting in and up, shoulders removing space between the hips. Good. And then when you're ready, exhale to lean over to any degree, still imagining that you're breathing big into the left side of the ribs, maybe even breathing so big that it feels like it's lifting you up towards the upper left-hand corner of the room more. Relax your eyebrows, unclench your jaw, pull your chin down and back. Look forward or down. Stay and watch. Notice what happens as you just stay and breathe. Let your breath be an agent of change here. You could be super still, or you could dip the heart down towards the floor and then back forward. And notice how that moves where the sensation is in your body. And remember, you can do this with or without the arm. It is the same. Couple more times like that on this side. Keep noticing what's left over. Notice the difference between the two sides. Remind yourself, we're not trying to make the two sides of the body identical. It's never going to happen. We're just doing the same practice on each side. And when you're ready, inhale all the way back to the center. Exhale, arm comes down if it was lifted. Stay and breathe. Notice what's left over so far. Good. Really gentle twisting now. So inhale your arms out to a T shape. Exhale, twist gently to one side, just using the strength of your body, and then let the arms come down, not to crank and pull you further, just to help hold you in place. It's okay when you twist if your hips want to shift with you. We have very little range of motion in the low back, and then more in the mid back, and the most in the upper neck area. So if you want, you could look away from your legs and get your neck involved in the twist, as long as it has nothing to say about it. And then inhale back to the center. Exhale to the other side. Maybe chin is in line with your heart, chin down and back, jaw is unclenched. Smooth out your eyebrows. You can look over that shoulder if you want to. Maybe it feels really different on this side. Just take an inventory of your whole body. Okay, let's go more fluid between the two now. So inhale back to center, exhale, twist. Inhale back to center, exhale, twist. Good. 3 more on both sides. Follow your own pace. Take a break when you need. Remember, it's okay if the hips want to move. You don't have to keep both hips pointing exactly forward. That will limit the amount of movement that can happen in your low back and between the low and mid back. When you're done, be done. Meet me in the middle, neutral spine. Arms are down out of your shoulders, maybe resting on your legs or on the floor next to you. Head is centered, looking ahead, chin down and back. Unclench your jaw again. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears and pinch them gently behind you. Press into your foundation, pelvis in and up, belly in and up, and just notice what it's like to be in neutral again. Notice your shesha. Good. Inhale your crown way up towards the sky. Get even taller. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left side. Back and forth a few times. Not pressing, just letting the weight of the head tilt over and create any sort of pulling or sensation of stretching in the sides of the neck. Notice the difference between the two sides as you go back and forth. Notice any snap, crackle, pop. I'm hearing a lot in me. Maybe you are in you too. It's okay. Good. Next time you come to the right, stay. Gently tilt the nose down towards the ground. And then inhale back to facing forward. Exhale, other side. Nose tilting down. Inhale, middle. One more on each side. Back to the center. Good. Bring your hands to the back of your skull. So you're really cradling the weight of your skull. And then look up very gently. Squeeze your shoulders behind you. Pull the elbows further apart so that you can fully hold the weight of your head, but still look up. Still imagine getting longer all the way from your tail to your crown so you're not like crunching the back of your neck. Good. Option with support to look towards the left more. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look to the right more. It might just be your eyes. Your head might actually turn. Inhale back to the center and look straight ahead. Keep your hands where they are. And then exhale, bring your elbows close together in front of you. Keep your spine tall, but tuck your chin down towards the chest. It might even touch in some bodies. Microscopically, I don't want to see it, but you might feel it. Drag the chin towards the right and then towards the left. One more to each side. Take your time. And then come back through the center. Inhale, open your arms, maybe push through the palms, pull your fingertips back, and exhale, lower your arms down. If you want at this point to do a couple shoulder rolls, if you've got some tension and heat building, that's normal. You can help release that. And we're going to move on to the lower body now. So if you're in a chair, you can do all of this in a seat, or if you wish, you can come down to the ground. We're not going to get back up if that helps you decide. So make your choice now. Take a sip of your beverage. Do what you need to do. Take your time getting down, especially if you're building strength coming down to the ground. Remember the way that you habitually come down and maybe you go down the other way. Great. Okay. Let's take just a mini break. Lazy teenager pose. It's my favorite. Hands behind you like you're sunbathing on a beach, and then jiggle your knees up and down and side to side. Complain about nothing being cool enough for you or whatever you want to whatever you want to do. Lazy teenager. I don't recommend letting the head go all the way back, but it could come forward a little bit if you want. Good. Okay. Sit very tall. So you might move the flesh of your buttocks side to side so that you feel like your sit bones are on the ground. Always an option to sit on blocks, or if you're at home, you can sit on a blanket or a pillow or something, right? And just make it work for you so that you don't feel nothing, but it's not torture to sit up tall. For some bodies, it's really helpful to bring the hands to the sides of the hips and to push a little bit into the hands, right? But keep the shoulders locked down and away from the ears, and you can push a little here with elbows long or bent. Some people like fingertips as well, just to keep it feeling from, I'm not wobbling side to side. For a moment, stay here and activate every muscle in your body, starting with your lower body. So push through the heels, pull your toes back towards your body. You can see in my body that makes my feet come off the ground. That's okay. Squeeze the muscles on your low legs, upper legs, squeeze your glutes, belly in and up, shoulders down and back, pressing into what you're touching down onto. Chin is down and in. Softer face, unclench your jaw, maybe even part your teeth and your lips slightly. Stay for 108 more breaths. I'm kidding, just for a couple. Just a couple. This is called staff pose. Deceptively difficult. Keep pushing through the heels. Keep pulling your toes back towards your body. Belly in and up more. Keep your breath moving. It doesn't have to be super deep, but don't hold the breath. And then release. Lazy teenager pose. Bump the knees, swish the feet, do what you have to do. Notice what's left over. Okay, you can stay super lazy or you can come back to your tall feeling. Let's focus on the toes and the ankles for a moment. So curl the toes under and point the toes like you're a ballerina, and then flex the ankles again and go back and forth like that. Point and flex. Point and flex. And then I don't know who made this up. Now floint. So point your ankles, but flex your toes back like you have high heels. Floint. And then point. And then flex. And then point. Floint. Point. Flex. One more time. Point. Floint. Point. And flex the ankles. Good. Okay, relax. Just like we did with the ankles, turning in and out. So now turn your toes in towards each other. See if you can target a stretch or a sensation on the outside of the ankles. And then turn them away so the inner ankle bones are turning towards each other. Back and forth. My teacher would say, go until you feel the good burn, which if you're like me is instant, and that's okay. Okay, good. Come to stillness. Keep your right knee bent. And I feel like it's easier to hang on to my knee here, so you can do that. Some people prefer to hang on to their long leg. Okay. But you're going to kind of smush your right knee in towards your body. Good. And then elongate your leg as long as you can, your free leg, the left leg, and then bend it in towards your body and extend. Bend and extend. Belly in and up for support, shoulders squeezed behind you. Press into what's touching the ground. It's okay if it feels weird or like you don't have the anatomy, to pull your knee straight back towards your body. You can pull it out at an angle towards your armpit too. Especially if you just ate, that's going to feel way better. Okay, pause. Both legs the same. Rest for a moment. Notice what's left over. Other side. Left knee is bent, right knee is long. Extend and bend. Soft face, unclench your jaw, breathe in and out. Notice what is changing or shifting in you. And then pause and rest. Both legs the same. Maybe you're in your lazy pose or sitting. Notice what's left over. Okay, hands still behind you on the seat. You might want to do on the flat part of the seat instead of the sides, because we're going to switch back and forth. I just don't want you to feel like you're going to tip over if you're in a chair. But if you're on the floor, some bodies do fingertips away. Some bodies do fingertips towards their body. Do the one that makes you feel more secure, okay? If you do fingertips towards your body, you might get a really nice stretch or at least something interesting in the wrists and the forearms. So it's something to consider. You don't have to. Bend both of your knees. Swish your knees to one side and then the other, like windshield wipers. This could be like microscopic. It could be very small. It could start getting bigger. And it could stay big if you want. And remember, let your hips go with you. So as you come to one side, it's okay if the hip wants to pull up off the floor. Next time your knees come to the right, let them stay. If you feel like a very uncomfortable feeling in the hip that's on top, I might recommend you bend it more and separate the knees so that leg is more neutral. You can intensify if you wish by coming up to a taller seat and or twisting towards the bottom leg and or lowering down. So you're kind of laying on top of the legs more. That doesn't have to be a lot. Any movement towards that direction might help intensify if you're looking for more sensation. If you've got plenty of sensation, there's no need to intensify. Soften where you can soften. Probably through the jaw, the sides of the neck, the eyebrows, the palms, the bottoms of your feet. Notice any of these places where you habitually hold tension. So invite it to release 1% more. Then inhale back to a tall spine and back to the middle. Exhale, other side. Everything coming to the left. Maybe you're leaning back. Maybe your shoulders are stacked on your hips. Maybe you inch your hands in front of the leg or towards around the knee. Maybe you lay down more, a little or a lot. Good choices. Soften where you can soften. Notice what your head is doing. Good. Then inhale yourself back to a tall spine and then back to the center. Good. Let's do a little squeeze of everything together. We'll do one more posture and then class is almost over. So feet very close together, knees very close together, knees both bent. If you're on the floor or your chair, you're going to bend over and either grab your pants or grab the tops of your knees or interlace your fingers. Some bodies grab their own wrists. Some bodies grab their own elbows, but somehow give yourself a hug and let your head get super heavy. But actively squeeze. Pull yourself in with your arms. Squeeze the belly in. Keep breathing in and out, focusing most of your breath on the back part of your body. Remember, the lungs are in the back too. As you compress the front, breathe bigger in the back. And then start to release. Roll yourself back up to a tall spine. Last posture here, optional. Let the soles of your feet come more towards each other and the knees more open. In some bodies, it might feel better to have the feet pretty far away from the hips. Some people have their ankles like in their crotch, and that's okay. Some bodies have their knees super high up. Some bodies have their knees really far down, touching the ground. You're going to be somewhere in the middle. Okay. But find a place where you can hang on to your legs. It could be the tops of your knees. It could be the fronts of your ankles. It could be peace fingers in between your first two toes. Yeah. Like peace. Okay. For a moment, stay tall and use the strength of your hands to kind of pull yourself more forward and more long and strong and straight in the spine. I know spines aren't straight. I just mean tall and long. Reach your tail down towards the floor, pull your belly in and up, pull the shoulders down and pinch them behind you. Trust the strength of your hands to pull. The chest more broad, the collarbones more broad. Soften your eyebrows, soften your jaw. If you wish, you could stay, or you could tuck your chin only down. Stay and breathe. Inhale your head back to center if your chin was still tucked. And then we're going to round forward. So if you are going to pull yourself forward, that's okay. Try to resist the shoulders pulling up towards the ears. Instead, focus on rounding the upper spine like a turtle, tucking the chin in. And, you know, in a picture book, your crown of your head would reach the soles of your feet. If you are pulling yourself down and you're far enough down that the elbows are in your way, remember you can put hands around your toes, opposite hand around that hand, and then elbows out towards the sides. Yes. See what happens when you round your shoulders more and you pull your belly button in hard towards your spine. Yeah. Breathe. Last round of breath here. Take your time. And then inhale, release your head first, and unleash your grip. Carefully roll yourself up to a tall spine again. Head and shoulders come last. Maybe you roll your shoulders at the top. Hands on the outside of your knees like a book. Close your book. And then with or without the support of your hands, roll all the way down until you're laying down, unless you're in a chair, and then scoot all the way back into your seat. I want everyone to feel like something is behind you from your tail through the shoulders. And if you're on the floor, of course, your head is touching down too. Knees are bent, feet flat on the ground, shoulders down away from your ears. You might take out your hair tie or take off your glasses. Unclench your jaw one more time. Smooth out your eyebrows. Notice distractions and let them pass as you come back into stillness, now in a different relationship with gravity. Notice where you feel heavy. Notice your breath. You might choose to stay, especially if you're having cranky hips or low back today. I might recommend feet as wide as your mat or a little bit wider than your hips, and then knees in towards the center. You can press a little bit, lift your hips and put them back down, lift the shoulders a little bit, put them back down. With your hands, you could very carefully lift your head and put it back down so everything feels neutral. If you don't like that though, or if you don't want to do this today, just elongate your legs and let your feet hang open however they wish. Arms could be in a T shape or a Y shape with the palms facing up, or you could put your hands on your own body. I prefer a lot one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest. And just like we did at the beginning of class, pick something ahead of you that's not moving where you can focus your attention and lock your gaze there as you lower the eyelids a little bit or a lot of it. Unclench the jaw. Consciously release the sides of your neck and the tops of your shoulders. Soften the muscles around your ears and your chin, your cheeks. One more time, notice what's left over. Good. You could stay, you could shift, but come into your final integration pose for the last couple minutes of class. And I'll offer a short guided body scan meditation as usual, but it's optional, just like everything else. If you'd rather work with a prayer or an affirmation you have, or a different kind of meditation, hell, if you want to take a nap, now is the time to incorporate what you need and make it your class. See if there's anything you can do before we start to get 1% more comfortable. And if you're following along with me, begin. Bring all of your awareness and attention now just to the tips of your toes. Notice what's there or not there without assigning any judgment of rightness or wrongness. Notice the bottoms of your feet. Notice the tops of your feet. Notice your ankles. Notice your lower legs. Notice your knees, the outside and the inside. Notice your upper legs. Notice your hips. Notice your buttocks. Notice your pelvis. Notice your belly. Notice your low back. Notice sides of your waist. Notice your upper back. Notice your chest. Notice your armpits. Notice your shoulders. Notice your upper arms. Notice your elbows. Notice your lower arms. Notice your wrists, backs of your hands, palms of your hands. Notice your fingertips. Notice the spaces between your fingertips. Notice front of your throat. Notice back of your neck, back of your head, top of your head. Notice your forehead. Notice your ears. Notice your temples. Notice your cheeks. Notice your jaw. Notice your chin. Notice your lips. Notice your teeth. Notice your tongue. Notice your nose. Notice your right eyelid. Notice your left eyelid. Notice your right eyebrow. Notice your left eyebrow. Notice the space between your eyebrows. Now that you've scanned your whole body one piece at a time, take a step back and notice the whole system together as one big piece. Notice what you notice. Good. Now let go of that. Bring attention once more to the parts where your body is touching something underneath you. Notice your breath without changing it. And gently start to wiggle your fingers and your toes to let your body wake back up. That might be enough, or maybe it turns into something bigger, rolling your wrists and your ankles, or bending the knees, lengthening through the legs. Be mindful and careful and slow. And then notice how you would get up to come to a seat. And I might ask you to try coming up a different way or the opposite direction. But use as little effort as possible and find a long spine one more time. So tail reaching down, legs in whatever position you choose. Length from your tail to the crown of your head. Maybe roll your shoulders again down away from your ears. Head stacked on top of your spine, maybe chin tucked down and back one more time. Gaze is forward and slightly down. And I'll invite you to bring your hands together, either in a prayer position with your thumbs touching the center of your chest or stacking your hands or whatever feels right to you. And look down or bow down towards your heart in your hands. And this motion is in gratitude of yourself. So, as best you can, give yourself a sincere thank you just for showing up. We all know that's the hard part. Everything else was just practice. And remember, you have a body, but you're not just your body. You have a mind, but you're not just your thoughts. And you have emotions, but you're not just your feelings. When you're ready, your hands can come down. Let your eyes flutter open and up. Class is over. Thank you all so much for coming. I'll stop the recording. If you have any questions or concerns about anything, we can talk now or you can email me later.